Now we're doing lesson 6.6, multiply 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers. We've talked about the math warm-up. Now we're on to Tyler's diagrams. To find the value of 4 times 36, Tyler uses a base 10 diagram, as shown here. Where is the 36 in Tyler's diagram? Do you see where 36 is? Todd, do you see where 36 is? Where is it?
On the top row.
Okay, so 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see it anywhere else?
They're all on all rows.
On all rows. Each row is 36, right? Okay. So that's what we're going to write on A. Each row has 36. Each row has 36. And then in parentheses, 3 10s and 6 1s. Where is the 4 in Tyler's diagram? Where do you see the 4? So if he's using this diagram to do 4 times 36, we see where the 36's are. Where's the 4? Emma? The number of rows, right? Yes. Okay, so the 4 is the number of rows. Okay. What is the value of 4 times 36? So if we're counting by tens, let's start there. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. So so if we count the tens, we get 120. And then if we count the ones, we've got 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 6 more would be what? Avis?
100.
Fisher? 24. So we counted the tens and we got 120. Then we counted the ones and we got 24. If we combine those, 120 plus 24, that means that 4 times 36 equals 144. Do you think that it would be easier to count the way we did? Set up, Colton. By tens, 10, 20, 30, and then do the ones separate?
No.
Or do you think it would be easier to go 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 46, 56, 66, 67, 68? Who likes doing the tens first? Okay. Cameron? Okay. Here's a diagram Tyler made to find the value of 9 times 18. Do you guys see the 18? There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So each row has 18. And how many rows do you think there are? 9. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he did 9 rows of 18, right? Okay. explain or show how his diagram helps him find the value of 18. Okay. He made 18 using a 10 and 8 ones and repeated that 9 times. And then he got 9 times 10 is 90. And then on the ones, 9 times 8 is 72. When you combine those, you get that. Write that down. We're at the bottom of page 123. He made 18 using a 10 and 8 ones and repeated that 9 times. And the 9 times 10, I kind of should probably scoot this over. I'm going to scoot it over. So, in this box, I have 9 groups of 10, which equals 90. And over here, I have 9 groups of 8, which equals 72. When you stack those, that 90 and that 72, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 9 plus 7 is 16. So you get 162. Two kinds of diagrams. Now, we have Priya's diagram, and we have Han's diagram. In just a minute, you're going to talk about which one you prefer and why. But, so keep that in mind. So here's how Priya did it. Priya drew. She didn't use blocks. She drew a base 10 diagram to multiply 6 times as many as 53, or 6 groups of 53. She said it shows that a product can be found by adding 300 plus 18. So she did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, and she did that 6 times. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Where do you think she got 18 from? Autry?
By multiplying all the threes from
The 10s or the 1s?
the ones,
She multiplied the 1s, right?
and it ended up being 6 times 3 equals 18.
Yes. So that would mean, where would the 300 come from? If the 18 came from this group, where did the 300 come from? Jackson?
The 10s.
The 10s, right? So this is what she did. You don't need to do this, but I'm going to show you. This is what she did. So she had, in each row, let's count, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And she's got 6 rows. So she said 6 rows of 50, or 6 groups of 50. 6 times 5 is your basic fact. What's 6 times 5? 30. And then we add on the 0. And then over here, she did 6 groups of 13 and 6 groups of, 3, and got 18. So the first question on A says, where do you see the 6 and the 53? Okay, this is what I want you to write down. The 6 is the number of rows . 53 is the amount in each row. then where do you see the 300 and the 18 in Priya's diagram? 6 groups of 50. Instead of writing that down, let's write this instead. The 300 is from the tens. As Jackson told us. The 18 is from the ones. Then the last question, or the next one, so that's how Priya did it. Then we've got Han, and the way he did it, to multiply that same problem, 6 times 53. So he made a rectangle. Here's the problem he's doing, 6 times 53. He made a rectangle. Which is the shorter side? This side or the top? The side or the top?
The side.
The side's shorter, right? So he put this shorter number on the shorter side. And then on the top, he put 53, but he split it into expanded form. So what's 53 in expanded form? Haziel? 50 and 3. You guys know how on a multiplication table, you look at what's on the left and what's on top, and where they meet is the answer? This is the exact same thing as a multiplication table. So to figure out what we multiply for this box, we look to the left. What's on the left of it?
6.
6. And what's on top of the big box?
53.
No, just the big box.
Oh,
50. Okay? And yes. And if this is 6, what is this gonna be? Same size, right? So 6 over here, 6 here. Athena, what 2 numbers do we multiply together for this small box?
6 times 3.
Yes. So now, which would you rather do? Draw out all those base 10 blocks or do this diagram?
That.
Okay, so 6 times 5 is 30, and add on the 0. 6 times 3 is 18. So, where do you see 318 in his diagram? 300 in the large box. And then I'm going to put, it says what do they represent? We're going to put tens. 18 in the small box. Zerelda, start writing. And then in parentheses, we're going to put, those are the ones. So the next question you're going to get to pick, and you're going to get to explain your reasoning. On the next question on the top of page 125, it says, which diagram do you prefer for multiplying 6 times 53? Priya's or Han's. So you're going to either write, I prefer, and then you'll put the name, either Priya or Han, because if you would prefer to draw out five of the, or 30 of those, then you would prefer, if you like the base 10 blocks model, this one, that's Priya's. If you prefer this model, that's Hans. So I personally prefer Hans because it is quicker with less writing. That's why I prefer it. And it makes just as much sense. So, to me. But if you prefer to count individuals, to see the individual blocks, then you can put Prius. Okay, and then we already found the value of 6 times 53. And that was 318. And now we've got to do 2 more problems real quick. So we're going to do Hans' model. I know it's time for some of you to go. We're going to finish this up real quick. 6 times 48. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. What goes on the short side? 6, the smaller number. What's 48 in expanded form, Jackson?
48.
40 and 8. I'm going to color code this so you can see what I'm doing. For this first box, I'm going to multiply 6 times 40. And for the other box, I'm going to multiply 6 times 8. So 6 times 4 is 24 with a 0 behind it. 6 times 8 is 48. My last step is to stack those 2 numbers up and add them together. So 0 plus 8 is 8, 4 plus 4 is 8, 2 plus nothing is 2. So 6 times 48 equals 288. Then we're going to do one more and then we'll be done. Draw my rectangle. Make sure your rectangle is not too big but has enough room to fit the numbers in. What number goes on the small side?
6.
Nope. 9.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then we gotta split 67 into what, Evan? 60 and 7. And now for the big box, I'm gonna do 9 times the bigger number, 9 times 60. And then for the smaller box, I'm gonna do 9 times 7. And I know 9 times 7 equals 63. And I know that 9 times 6 is 54 with a 0 behind it. And then my last step is to stack them and add them. 540 and 63. When I add those together, 0 plus 3, 6 plus 4. Down the 0, carry the 1, 5 plus 1.
6.
So the answer is 603.